Etienne and myself are old mates, and it's been nice to fish in the competition in the swims next door to each other. We've been able to catch up and talk rigs and all that sort of stuff. And he's using stuff on his home waters, which I think is more advanced than anything that I've seen used in the UK. So all credit to you, mate, for thinking about this. But tell us a little bit about the waters that you're fishing and why you've come up with this sort of stuff.
My waters where I live are much clearer than this one.
Really?
Much clearer than this one.
So what sort of depth do you think you can see the bottom in there?
7 meters.
So over 20 foot?
Yeah, I can see everything.
Really?
I can see everything. Yes.
Right, okay.
With a boat and with an aquascope.
So you're looking through and looking at the spots and everything on the bottom?
And I'm trying to match everything to the bottom.
Right.
Because, they're pressured fish.
Right.
For around about 20-25 years, they are pressured fish.
Right, okay.
Really shy fish.
Right.
And in waters, they are clear.
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
They know what's going on.
They know everything.
So in a typical lake that you fish, how big's the lake? How many fish swim in it? How big are the fish?
We have different lakes.
Right.
All lakes where I live are very clear.
Right.
I told you already.
What about the one with the big, where you had the big brace of commons recently then?
Round about 10 hectare.
Right, so it's 25 acres.
Yeah, round about this.
Right.
There are only 20 fish.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So very, very similar to English fishing, because, you know, if you've never been to Germany, which I haven't, you think about the waters as being enormous with huge numbers of fish. The fish have never been caught before, and it's easy fishing. But that sounds more like an extreme English situation than we were expecting, I would say.
Yeah, but we have also different lakes with a huge amount of fish, very big lakes with a huge amount, not so pressured,
Right.
and that's easier to go there.
Right, okay.
The
So-
really big fish are in the small clear waters.
Right, and they're the ones you're targeting.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So talk us through these bits of trickery on here, because I love this one. This really caught my eye. You've got what looks like some silicone tubing that you've threaded up the hook link, and then concertinaed it up.
Yes.
So it's a bit textured and a bit.
Yeah.
Right, what's
exactly.
the thinking behind that?
The thinking behind that is that I've saw it from a boat that are little twigs like this, little twigs on the ground. Right. And I want to match all my stuff like the twigs.
Right, okay. So you've seen all the little twigs on the spots. They're not completely clean, there's little bits, and you're trying to break everything up so it doesn't look like a straight line.
Yes, yes.
And you've kept that concertina up there by 2 bits of rig putty.
Yeah.
On there that just keeps it all together. And I notice on the hook as well, you've got silicone all the way around the hook as well.
Always.
Always?
Always.
Right, okay.
I want to have maximum camouflage on my hook.
Right, very clever. And this next one as well, I mean, this is great. I can see the boys at places like Yateley and that, the real difficult lakes where you're fishing for one bite a year, I can see them really looking at these things and thinking, yeah, because for us, this is outside the box. This is different from what English guys think about, and that's what I think it's so good. On there, you've got rig putty, haven't you?
Yeah.
All the way down,
All
sort
the
of
way.
lumpy all the way down it.
Yes.
So it's heavy, you know, obviously it's going to sink, but if you imagine that stick underwater, it goes darker, it takes the water on.
Yes.
Very, very similar.
Very similar.
Very similar.
Yeah.
But yeah, excellent. This next one is what I love this. You've got bits of silicone on here threaded up the hook so they come off at all crazy angles.
Yeah.
And what's the idea behind that?
The idea was that I want to match my hook to like a twig.
Like a twig.
Like a small twig.
Yep. So you've got a bit of fluorocarbon hook link on there, still the putty to hold it down.
Yes.
But it's not a hook anymore, is it?
No, it's not a hook.
That's the thing I love about it.
Only the point is free.
Only the point is free. And then feather on the hook as well.
Yeah.
What happens in the water to that one?
I saw this one from Joe Morgan.
Yes.
He's using this rig, and I like this rig.
Right.
But there comes air, a little bit air in the feather.
Yeah.
And it's a big bubble on the ground.
Right. Okay.
A big bubble. It takes a few minutes that the air can go out.
Right. Okay.
For the water pressure is working, and then the air comes out.
And you've got a big bit of putty on there, but that's still a bottom bait, is it there?
It's a bottom bite, yeah.
Right. Okay. Very, very clever. And then moving down onto this one, not so much camouflage. You've still got the bit of silicone on the hook, but 2 hook baits. Now we've seen this written about in the English magazines. Hutchinson put it in a book years ago, but I've never actually seen anyone cast it out. So what's the thinking behind that?
The thinking behind that is when I use a big mix of different baits.
Yep.
When I go for spotting.
Yes.
You know better than me. One day this bait is better.
Yep.
The next day the other bait is better.
Okay.
When I put 2 different baits, I have different options.
Right. Okay. Very clever. Very clever. And then this last one. Again, you've got the putty on it and everything else, but the thing I liked about this one is how the hook turned. Just that you've got a choddy hook on there, so an out-turned eye hook. But look at, I mean, it's not, even the weight of the bait doesn't seem to be making a difference. It's just, so what made you come up with that?
This one turns really, really quickly.
Yep.
And I've got here a small loop.
Yep.
For hinge, for the movement.
Okay.
And the thinking behind that is it turns really, really quickly.
Yeah, it does.
And
it does.
It does, yeah, it does.
Absolutely brilliant. And I wouldn't expect that for a hook with an out-turned eye like a choddy, but it's amazing how quickly it does turn.
Yeah.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. To be honest, mate, I'm amazed that you haven't caught anything on this session.
Nothing.
And I think there was a little bit. You were probably a bit misled by the last time we fished here. I was spodding. I was catching.
Yeah.
I've come this time, I'm using boilies. Last time you were using boilies, it didn't work and spotting worked. Now it's the other way round. Things change, don't they? You know, there's more bream prevalent in the lake now than there's ever been before.
Yeah.
Even though Danny's taking them out, they still are a problem, and that's why I've used boilies more than anything else. But we've still got 24 hours to go.
We have.
And it only takes a second to get a run.
Yeah.
And there are half a dozen 60s swimming around out there right now. So thank you very much for that insight. I hope people put this into their own fishing in the UK, because I'm spellbound by all of this stuff. This is camouflage to the nth degree, and I'm certainly going to try it when I go back to England. Hopefully you will as well.